Your desk faces a wall, not a window, not a partition. A wall you stare at, beige, scuffed bare. You are 24 years old. You owe $112,000. Your title says analyst. Your salary says $68,000. You work on a floor with 800 people. 4 names. 3 of them are wrong. You ride the elevator with people who manage billions. They don't see you. Your commute costs $14 a day. Your contribution costs nothing to replace. That is the math nobody says out loud. The machine values you at exactly your replacement cost. You are not worth $1 more. The office has windows. You just can't see them from here. You sit along the drywall. The managing directors sit along the glass. You arrive at 6:15. You leave at 11. Your view doesn't change. Your first quarterly review happens in a room with no windows. Your manager reads numbers off a sheet. Your name is misspelled. You learn the difference between working hard and working visible. Hard is the cubicle. Visible is near the glass. You lose track of days. You lose track of weeks. The window light is the only calendar that matters. You find the kitchen has a window not to the outside, to the trading floor. You watch the traders through the glass like an aquarium. You study the org chart, 11 levels. You are at the bottom, 11 windows away from the top. You build models, nobody reads. You format pitch books, nobody opens. You watch meetings through glass, literally through glass. You eat lunch at your desk. You eat dinner at your desk, sometimes breakfast. The view is the same every time. Beige, flat, fluorescent. You fall asleep at your desk on a Wednesday. Nobody notices. Nobody cares. The bathroom mirror doesn't lie. You look like a job. Tired, pale, hungry. You learn something. The people near the windows make different decisions. You notice it. They speak differently. They move differently. You can't see what they see. Not yet. You watch a senior analyst get fired on a Thursday. His desk was 2 rows from the window. You see someone else sit there by Friday. The view doesn't grieve. You catch an error in a fund model. It would have cost $2.3 million. A VP leaves a note on your desk. You read it 3 times. Good work, analyst. You know that note is worth more than your bonus. You walk to the window one night. You press your face to the glass. You look down. The city stretches 32 floors below. You can see everything from here. You understand now. You understand now. The view is the hierarchy. The window is the proof. You walk back to your wall. But something has shifted. You survive 14 months. Your desk moves. Not far, 1 row. You can see sky now, a sliver, gray and thin. But real. You notice the sky changes everything. Gray in the morning, blue by noon, orange at 5. You track the day by light now, not by clock. Your first earnings model gets used in a real pitch. The PM doesn't credit you. He credits the desk. You are the desk. You learn speed matters differently. Here, not speed of analysis, speed of access. You need to be called to the window first. You see your floor from the cab home. It is the only one still lit. You pay the price. 1 row closer to daylight. You are in the room now. You are at the far end, not the good end. Your title says associate. Your bonus says 90,000. Your bonus arrives, 90,000. You calculate what it means. $750 per HR of overtime. Sounds impressive until you count the hours. You buy a 1-bedroom in a neighborhood that signals nothing. Not arrival, not ambition, just survival at a different altitude. You walk the perimeter of your floor. It takes 4 minutes. You measure it. 4 minutes of glass. That is how big the view has gotten. Your apartment window faces east. You can see 3 office towers. You wonder what floor the people in them sit on. You calculate their views. You arrive before the light does. You leave after it goes. Your window means nothing if you only see it in the dark. You see the gradient now, light to dark, power to labor. You've moved 2 shades brighter. You carry your laptop to meetings now. Not printouts. You carry a signal now. The VP who hired you gets moved to a different floor. Lower, smaller windows. Nobody explains why. The machine rearranges without announcement. You learn to read offices like resumes. 1 window panel means solid performer. 2 means top decile. Corner means partner track. No window means looking. You hear something at a bar. A colleague leans in. The fund's head of research is leaving. His corner office will be empty by month end. That is not gossip. That is intelligence. You build an unsolicited sector report. 30 pages. You leave it on the CIO's desk at midnight. By morning, it is gone. By noon, you are in a meeting you weren't invited to. You get invited to a PM's office. You notice it immediately. 2 walls of glass. You compare. His view covers 3 zip codes. Yours covers a partition. You understand the difference. Now managing money versus counting it. The CIO's office smells like leather and coffee. The view is a weapon. Visitors look at the skyline. He watches their faces while they look. That is the leverage. You return to your sliver of sky. It looks smaller after the corner. That is deliberate. The machine shows you what is possible, then puts you back. You meet a PM from a competing fund at a networking event. He asks what floor you are on, not what fund. What floor? You understand. That tells him everything. You start modeling faster. Not because they asked, because speed buys proximity. You get pulled onto a special situations. Fund by a VP. His office has 1 window. 1. You notice he guards it. Year 3. A new fund launches inside the firm. The team gets a dedicated floor. Higher, better glass. You are not on the team. You feel the gravity. You watch a VP negotiate his office placement. Not salary, not title, not scope. The angle of his desk relative to the window. You calculate 15 degrees closer to the glass. That is the negotiation that matters. You understand that is the negotiation that reveals. You ride the elevator. The building is the hierarchy. Every floor is a tier. Every window is a verdict. You share the elevator with everyone. It is the only democracy. It takes everyone to the same lobby. You count the floors from the street one night. 52, you are on 32, 20 floors to go. 20 windows to earn. You learn something no textbook covers. Capital follows the view. You see every floor as a verdict. Every window is a promotion letter. The building doesn't lie. You request the floor plan for the next lease negotiation. Window footage per Pascal Artner. Window footage per director. The math is public. The meaning is private. The second rule of hedge funds. Your office view is your performance review. Nobody needs to tell you where you rank. You read the sunlight. 3 years later, you have an office, glass walls, 1 window. You earned it. Your view shows 3 buildings and a street. You can't see the skyline. Not yet. You angle your desk 45 degrees. Not for ergonomics. For the window. Every glance up is a reminder. You realize glass walls mean everyone sees you working, thinking, leaving. You are promoted and surveilled at the same time. You hire your first direct report. You put her desk in the interior, 1 row from the window, closer than you started, but not close enough. You tell yourself that is the kindness the machine allows. Dawn belongs to you now, before the analysts arrive, before the PMs check positions, before the coffee machine starts. The sunrise hits your window first on this row. That is not poetry. That is architecture. The building was designed that way. Your title says senior analyst. Your total compensation says $240,000. You present to the investment committee. Now, not just data, theses. You take video calls, your window does the talking. Allocators see the skyline behind you. You don't mention the floor. They can estimate. You lose $3.2 million on a biotech position. In 1 day, your stomach drops. Your hands go cold. The window doesn't care. You learn the view is the same whether you are up 8 or down 8. You remind yourself the city doesn't know your P-Citadel. The river doesn't track your Sharpe ratio. You don't model the human cost of the restructuring. Nobody asks you to. The target company has 4,000 employees. Your model has 7 tabs. None of them are called people. You watch storms from here, beautiful, abstract. Below the 30th floor, a storm is an inconvenience. You are above the 50th now. Up here, it is a show. You understand perspective changes everything. That is why they pay for the glass. Synergies, that is the word. 1,400 jobs eliminated. Your model calls it margin improvement. The view from your window is the same after you press send. Your models move capital now. You repositioned 80 million last quarter. On your recommendation alone, you walk the corridor and count the windows. You count 1 panel, 2 panels. Corner suite. The MD on your floor has a corner. 2 glass walls, the entire south side of Manhattan in his peripheral vision. You learn clients pay for the view. Literally, your dinner costs $400 a head. The food is irrelevant. Your window table at this altitude is the pitch. You get a headhunter call. Another fund, floor 51. You visit, their windows are bigger, their returns are worse. You learn something. You learn bigger windows don't mean better judgment, but they do mean better fundraising. You stay, not for loyalty, for trajectory. This fund is going up. When it raises the next fund, the office moves higher floor. More glass, your window count multiplies with the AM. You see capital and altitude are the same thing. You keep a notebook, not for ideas, for views. Every office you visited, every floor number, every window count. You see a story your Bloomberg terminal can't tell. He doesn't even look at it anymore. That is how you know he has been there long enough. You have dinner with the head of research. He says something you don't forget. Every view you've ever had was assigned to you. You need to choose your own. You source your first allocator independently. Family office from Houston, 40 million. They chose your fund partly because of the view from your floor. You heard them say it, not a joke. The fund's marketing brochure features the office view, page 3. Full bleed. The skyline is selling the returns before the returns sell themselves. You hear the fund raises $1 billion too. The office expands. Your name is on the new floor plan. You trace the blueprint with your finger. 2-window office. Your upgrade is official before the announcement. You stand at your window after hours. 1 panel of glass. The sunset fills it completely. You realize something. This window is a ceiling, not a floor. You need a different building. You join a $2 billion long-short equity fund. Floor 44. The entire east wall is glass. Your new office has 2 windows. You can see the river from one. You watch the river move. Money moves. You start to see the connection. 360 degrees. You have no blind spots, no walls, no limits, except one. You can only look in one direction at a time. That is the final irony. Infinite view, finite attention. You have 2 windows now, 2 directions. North is cold light. East is warm. Your desk sits at the intersection. You notice decisions feel different when light comes from both sides. Your team has grown 4 analysts, 2 associates. None of them have windows. You remember what that felt like. You don't mention it. You take breakfast meetings at a hotel on the 52nd floor. The view neutralizes the power dynamic. Both of you are guests of the altitude. Your title says portfolio manager. Your P/L target says 40 million. You pitch your first independent position, a concentrated short on a European industrial. The thesis is 3 pages. The conviction is 6 months of research. The position works, 8% return in 9 weeks, 12 million in profit. The fund notices, not the return, the conviction. You held through a drawdown, you didn't flinch. The view teaches patience. When you can see the whole city, a bad week looks like weather, not a catastrophe. You source intelligence differently. Now, not from reports, from conversations. A dinner with a supply chain executive. A golf game with a board member. Information flows toward the view. You see the chain now. Capital follows trust. Trust follows proximity. Proximity follows the view. You are inside the machine, inside the machine. You wait for congratulations. Nobody speaks. That is how you know it matters. You learn the silence is the respect. Her first model will take 11 hours. Her first bonus will feel like a fortune. Her first window will feel like proof. The CIO calls you in. His office has 3 glass walls. You can see New Jersey from his chair. He says the third rule, the view doesn't reward performance. The view rewards permanence. You hear him. Anyone can be right once. Your window goes to whoever stays right longest. You start to think in years, not quarters. The machine doesn't care about your last trade. It cares about your last decade. You see every floor as a chapter, every window as a sentence. The building writes itself in light and shadow every night. Nobody on the street reads it. They just walk past. Nights change. You used to stay late because you had to. Now you stay because the view at midnight is different. Quieter, truer. You stop taking the subway, not for comfort, for time. The car gives you 11 extra minutes. Those minutes compound like interest. You close 3 new allocators in 1 quarter. A university endowment, a state teacher's pension, a foundation. You bring in 240 million combined. Each of them sat in your office. Each of them looked at the view. Your book grows 200 million in positions. Your winners pay for your losers. That is the whole job. You have a junior now. He sits in the interior, no window. You remember that feeling. You don't tell him the rules. Nobody told you. That is part of the design. At a client dinner, you notice something. The restaurant seats you by the window. Not because you asked. Because someone called ahead. You join the charity circuit. Not for charity, for allocation. You learn every gala is a pitch. Every window table is due diligence. You fly to London for a single meeting. The fund's European investors want a face-to-face. Their office is in Mayfair, 3rd floor, small windows. But the address compensates. In London, the street is the view. Your view follows you now. Even outside the office. Year 7, you make director. The corner office, 2 walls of glass. The river and the skyline at once. You stand where 2 windows meet. You stand where the city bends around you. That is what a corner means. Your position adjusts the world. Your Sharpe ratio is 1.4 over 3 years. Your allocators know this number. You don't mention it. They mention it to each other. A pension fund from Ohio wants to allocate 75 million. You take the meeting in your corner office. The view does half the selling. You learn European money moves slower. Their windows are older. Their patience is deeper. You adjust your pitch. Fewer numbers. More narrative. They don't want to see your view. They want to know you've earned it. On the flight home, you draft a restructuring proposal. The fund should move offices. Higher floor, more glass. The AM justifies it. The fundraising requires it. You include a section on window allocation by seniority. Nobody will question it. You present to the partners. They approve the move. Floor 48. 6 more floors. Your window count goes from 2 to 3. You tell no one how much this matters to you. They sign. The pension beneficiaries will never cede this office, will never cede this view. That is the structure. You walk the floor differently now. You walk along the glass, not through the center. That is a choice only directors make. The pension restructures post-allocation. The IRR target requires it. You don't say it in the meeting. Nobody says it. You keep a photo from your first year. The cubicle, the wall. You don't keep it for nostalgia. You keep it for measurement. A counterparty calls at 10 p.m. Their fund is liquidating. They need someone to take the other side. You calculate exposure in your head. 43 million. You walk into the new office. It smells like paint and money. Floor 48. You walk the perimeter, glass on 3 sides. You choose the corner before anyone else arrives. 3 windows, corner position. Floor 48. You can see the airport from here. Planes taking off every 90 seconds. Each one carrying someone who will never sit where you sit. You take the trade. By morning, it is worth 51 million. You made 8 million while the city slept. You get the light first. Dawn hits your office before the analysts arrive. Before the associates, you are in the corner. The light finds you first. Year 12 partner. Your office is no longer an office. It is the top floor. You see 3 walls of glass. You can see 2 rivers. On clear days, you swear you see the curve of the earth. Not literally, but something bends at the edges. Your fund manages 4.2 billion. Your carry on the last fund cycle will vest at 38 million. You don't check your net worth. Your accountant does. The machine doesn't care about your view. The machine cares about your returns. But returns and views have a way of tracking each other. You stop attending most industry conferences. Not because you are too busy, because the conversations aren't useful anymore. At 30,000 feet, every city looks the same. Grids and glass, you've been inside the glass of 11 of them. A sovereign wealth fund contacts you. You get the call, 700 million seeking deployment. They want your fund specifically. You fly to Zurich for the due diligence. The hotel window overlooks the lake. You don't notice. You are comparing it to your office view. It is smaller. The 5th rule of hedge funds. Your office view is better than the hotel in Zurich. You've crossed a line. There is no going back. Your social circle narrows. You don't choose isolation, but conversations require context. Your context has become the view from floor 52. You eat dinner alone more often. You eat alone not from loneliness, from efficiency. Your view is better when nobody's talking. A market correction hits. Your fund drops 4% in a week. 3.8 billion in AUM becomes 3.6. Allocators call, you don't answer from the floor. You answer from the corner. Your voice is steady. You buy the dip. Not because you are brave, because from this height, the correction looks small. It is small. Perspective is the product. You restructure the portfolio overnight. By quarter end, the fund is positive. The correction was an opportunity you could see because of where you sat. The machine inside the machine. That is what a hedge fund is. And you are no longer inside it. You are the machine. You reach the final level, no walls. You see only glass 360 degrees. You can see everything. The rivers, the bridges, the airports, the horizon line where the ocean starts. Your fund manages 11.3 billion. Your name is on the door. Your returns average 14% net over 9 years. You don't have a Bloomberg terminal anymore. You have people who have Bloomberg terminals. That is the distinction. You attend meetings with no agendas, no slides. 3 people. The room is glass. Your conversation moves markets. You look down 41 floors below. Someone sits at a desk facing a wall. You know this because you designed the floor plan. The wall was intentional. The 7th rule, there is no view beyond this. After 360 degrees, there is only down. You are not watching the market anymore. The market is watching you. When you sell, analysts write for weeks. When you buy, others follow within hours. You recognize it. That is not power. That is something quieter, colder, more permanent than power. Your view has no frame anymore. No edge, no wall to measure against. You've outgrown the metaphor, but the machine hasn't outgrown you. It never does. You are the view now. Everyone below is looking up at where you sit. You pay the cost now. The people you trust number fewer than 5. Beyond that circle, everything is glass. Transparent, brittle, cold. You feel it before you see it. Somewhere 41 floors below, a door opens. A 23-year-old walks in. Her badge says analyst. First year, her suit is slightly too big. She carries a bag that cost more than her first paycheck. She doesn't know that yet. She thinks this is about salary. She thinks the hierarchy rewards what you produce. She doesn't know yet what the windows mean. She doesn't know the rules. She doesn't know the view is the rank, and the rank is the view. She will find out. You know what happens next. The terminal blinks. The market opens. The machine takes another step forward.